Hey guys, Brad Danger here, and if you feel like the used car market in 2025 makes absolutely no sense, you are absolutely right. You're not losing it, the market is. I'm here scratching my head along with you, wondering how things got so upside down. We've hit a point where everybody seems to have lost their mind over car buying. Prices are all over the map. Demand is unpredictable, and rational thinking got thrown out the window somewhere around 2021. And here's the deal. I've been around the automotive world for over 20 years. I've lived through bubbles, crashes, and comebacks. Normally, when the economy gets rocky, people tighten their belts, starting looking for cheap, reliable wheels. And the cycle, well, it makes sense, right? This time, 2025 is breaking every single rule. The stuff I'm seeing on the lot, in auctions and consumer behavior, it's flat out bizarre. So today, we're breaking down why the used car market is officially insane right now, how we got here, and where it could be headed next. Spoiler alert though, it is not gonna be pretty. To understand just how nuts 2025 is, you gotta look back because the car market always moves in cycles. Booms, bust, repeat. But this time, the bust feels different. Back when people were betting on websites like they were Beanie Babies, money was flowing real fast. Banks were lending to anybody with a pulse. Cars, oh yeah, people were splurging on BMWs and Benzes like they were ordering lattes. Caramel macchiato, anybody? Exactly. But when the dot-com bubble popped, bam, reality hit. Credit dried up, jobs vanished, and suddenly those same folks that were flexing in a new 3 Series were begging me for something that just ran and didn't scream repo incoming. Used car prices dropped like a Miata soft top in the summer. And everybody knows it's a little bit more fun topless, right? Now, if you thought the dot-com burst was rough, 2008 said, hold my beer. Subprime mortgages, reckless lending, Wall Street greed, you name it. It blew up. Banks had been shoving loans at people like candy and everyone thought they were rich. Used car values plunged almost 13% in just 3 months. I remember it vividly. I mean, people were losing their houses, their jobs, their credit. Folks were literally going to dealerships and saying, I don't care what it looks like, I just need something cheap, something reliable, anything to get me to work. That's when cash cars under 5K were absolute gold. The Camrys, the Civics, the Corollas, the dealers couldn't keep them on the lot. Luxury cars, forget it. They just sat there collecting dust while everyone fought over beaters. Fast forward a decade, pandemic hits, and for a hot second it looked like 2008 all over again. Showrooms went quiet, auctions froze, and wholesale values dropped almost 10% overnight. And then came the perfect storm. The government starts firing out stimulus checks. Interest rates crash to record lows. Factories shut down, supply chains break, and well, suddenly, cars become scarce. With fewer new cars being built, people went nuts for used ones. The Manheim Index, which tracks wholesale prices, went vertical. Used cars were appreciating like stocks. I saw Carvana paying over MSRP at auctions for late model Hondas and Toyotas. Craigslist beaters doubled in price overnight. A base model Civic was suddenly worth its weight in Bitcoin. And consumers, they were lining up. People were overpaying willingly. A Civic that should have been around 14K was selling for 20K plus. A Tacoma that was 30K new was 35K used. It was absolutely bonkers. Then the Fed finally woke up and started hiking interest rates to fight inflation. By late 2022 into 2023, demand cooled, prices dipped. Dealers were sweating, predicting a massive crash. But the crash, well, it never really came. Prices softened, sure, but they stayed sky high compared to pre-pandemic prices. Why? Because those missing millions of cars never magically appeared. New supply was still tight and people still needed cars. So the bubble just kind of deflated slowly. Which brings us to 2025. Now, normally, a few years after a boom like 2021, we'd be knee deep in bargains. Cheap commuters would be everywhere. Luxury cars would be dirt cheap. But 2025? Nope. This cycle is broken. We are in uncharted territory. Yeah, could I get a tuna no crust? Fast and Furious fans, well, they know. But what's actually fast? This GTR. You get 700 horsepower, flame tuned, and built to eat Lambos for lunch. And I'm giving it all away, plus $10,000 in cold hard cash. All you gotta do is go to winthisidealcar.com, buy a tee, hat, or even just get digital entries. It is that easy. You get cool stuff and a chance to win your dream car. I mean, that's family. right? So click the link in the pinned first comment down below. Get entered to not only win this Bayside Blue GTR, but also $10,000 of cash. Good skill, and promise me one thing, keep living the ideal lifestyle. So what makes 2025 so weird? Three big things. Consumers are actually irrational, banks are sending mixed signals, and supply is still totally out of whack. In past downturns, people got thrifty. This time, buyers are still stretching their wallets like they're Gumby to snag luxury badges and big trucks. The numbers, well, guys, they don't lie. The average used car price in August of 2025, $25,512. That's higher than it was in mid-2023. I mean, guys, just let that sink in. The average used car now costs what the average new car did just 5 or 6 years ago. And instead of saying, nah, I'm gonna wait, buyers are signing on the dotted line. A few years ago, $25K could get you a brand new Accord. Now it gets you a 3-year-old Malibu. And people, somehow they're completely fine with that. And what I'm fine with is giving away my dream car, this 700 horsepower R35 GTR in beautiful Bayside Blue. And guess what? Right now we have mega entries, so click the link in the pinned first comment and get entered to win this and get rid of your car payment altogether. And here's where it gets messier. Normally, when delinquencies spike, banks slam the brakes. And yes, subprime delinquencies are at record highs. Nearly 6% of subprime borrowers were 60+ days late in 2024. That's Great Recession territory. There were a few subprime lenders that even went bust. But at the same time, banks are still lending aggressively to prime borrowers. In July of 2025, lenders actually approved more loans and accepted the lowest down payment since 2022. Translation, if you got decent credit and you can still finance that 50K SUV at 11% APR, no problem. And speaking of APR, rates, they are brutal. The average used car loan is sitting around 11 to 12%. That's basically credit card level interest. Monthly payments on a used car average about $550 per month. And now you'd think that would cool demand, but nope, people are still lining up. So on one hand, banks are saying we need to tighten up. On the other hand though, they're handing out loans to people chasing cars that shouldn't be buying. It's like telling someone to eat healthier while shoving fries in their face. Okay, now this is the heart of the problem. The pandemic knocked out roughly 8 million vehicles from production. Those cars, they just don't exist. That missing inventory is haunting us now. On top of that, Americans are holding on to cars longer than ever. The average car on the road is 12.6 years old. Affordable cars under 15K, practically extinct. Dealers have about 31 days supply on sub 15K cars compared to 50 to 60 days for everything else. And here is the kicker. The industry shifted away from cheaper cars. In 2018, there were 36 models that you could buy under 25K brand new. By 2023, just 10. Meanwhile, luxury models over 60K exploded by 163%. Automakers, well, they chase profits, not affordability. So now when people shop used, they're staring at lots full of expensive crossovers and luxury SUVs. So yes, you can still find a 25K Nissan Sentra, but good luck finding a decent AK Civic. They're pretty much unicorns, and when they do pop up, well, they sell instantly with a markup. And guys, if you enjoyed this video, well, like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and remember to go to Win This Ideal Car to win my 700 horsepower GTR. Also, check out these Ideal vids over here. I'm Brad Danger, this is Ideal. We'll catch you next week, and promise me one thing, keep living the ideal lifestyle. Consumers gone mad, real life buying behavior. All right, stats are one thing, but nothing captures the madness like the real world buying decisions happening right now. These aren't one-off flukes. They're the kinds of things dealers across the country are seeing every week. And honestly, they'll make you facepalm so hard you'll leave a dent in your forehead. The delivery driver luxury car. Picture this. Someone needs a car for gig work, food delivery, rideshare, whatever. Common sense says grab a cheap, fuel-efficient sedan, something you can run into the ground and not worry about. But instead, they're pulling up cash in hand for a high-mileage luxury car with repair bills that could bankrupt them. When asked why, the answer isn't Uber Black or luxury chauffeur service. Nope, it's just a drop-off fast food in style. Forget the 2,500 Teller Econobox with working AC. The badge on the hood is what matters. Trading reliability for a badge. Then you've got younger buyers walking onto lots with perfectly good, low-mileage daily drivers. Cars with warranties left, reliable, efficient, cheap to run. And they're trading them in for vehicles with double the mileage and triple the future headaches just because the new ride has a luxury logo on it. It doesn't matter if the car's worn out or due for big repairs. The mindset is, it's insert brand here, it'll last forever. Spoiler, 200,000 miles is 200,000 miles, no matter what badge is on the grill. Borrowing to the bone for a flex SUV. Another common theme, people going to extreme lengths to finance or scrape together cash for giant used SUVs with high miles. I'm talking borrowing from friends, payday loan shops, even pawning stuff just to drive off in a 5,500-pound status symbol. These are vehicles that might need thousands in repairs within months, but the buyers don't care. The priority is getting on social media the same day, posting selfies behind the wheel, bragging about the new ride. The debt, the repairs, that's tomorrow's problem. The broken but prestigious ride. And the wildest one, people buying cars that barely even function. Transmission slipping, warning lights everywhere, can't go faster than 20 miles an hour, simply because they've always wanted a luxury SUV. Some of these buyers don't even have jobs lined up, no plan for the repairs, not even money for insurance. They're literally pooling family cash together to buy something that should be headed to the shop on a tow truck. And when you point out a newer, cheaper to own car for the same price, they wave it off. They'd rather limp along in a broken badge than cruise reliably in a boring economy car. Here's the thing, every time we think prices will finally come down, someone like those buyers walks in and overpays. Dealers have a saying, the only time you won't make money is when you run out of idiots. It's harsh, but it's real. As long as enough people keep buying irrationally, prices stay inflated. I've been in dealer meetings where we're about to lower prices after a slow week. Then two people walk in and pay full retail. Boom, management says, keep prices high. That's why the market refuses to crash. Even franchise stores are still charging over MSRP on hot models, and people pay it. The market can't correct until buyers stop rewarding this insanity. The repo wave. Now let's talk repos. Delinquencies are high and repossessions have surged. Over 1.7 million cars repossessed in 2024, the most in 15 years. Auction lanes are filling with these cars. But here's the catch. Most repo cars are rough, high miles, beat up, neglected. They're not the nice low-mile inventory people actually want. So instead of crashing the market, they just feed the junk car frenzy. People who can't afford better scoop them up, and the cycle continues. Meanwhile, the clean late model stuff, still scarce, still pricey. So where does this all go? Analysts say prices will stay high through 2025. Tariffs could push new car prices even higher, driving more demand to used. Defaults will keep climbing, bringing more rough cars to auction. But without a flood of good used supply, prices won't tank. If the Fed cuts rates in 2026, financing gets easier and demand could spike again. Or if the economy slows hard, unemployment rises and credit tightens. Maybe we finally see prices fall significantly, but history shows used car values rarely crash. They slide, slowly. My guess, by late 2025 into 2026, we'll see gradual deflation, especially in overpriced segments. But don't expect 2019 level deals anytime soon. The bottom line, the used car market in 2025 is pure chaos. Consumers are overpaying for junk luxury. Banks are enabling it. Supply is still broken, and dealers are milking it as long as they can. For you, the everyday shopper, don't be an idiot. Seriously, if you can wait, if you can't, shop smart. Look for private deals, buy something reliable, and don't blow your budget just to flex. That Instagram post won't save you when the repair bill hits. The market will normalize eventually. It always does. But until then, welcome to Bizarro Car World, where up is down, junk is gold, and people deliver tacos in 200K mile S-classes. Let me know in the comments if you've seen the same madness in your area. Are people still overpaying like crazy, or have you found deals hiding out there? Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and stay smart, Ideal fam, because the car market, it sure isn't.